Hi everyone, my name is Mary Lou Areño and welcome back to my channel, The Teacher's Best Friend. For today's episode, I'm going to share with you the topic on enhancing professional practice, inspired by Charlotte Danielson's model, a framework for teaching. Several schools are using this model for their teachers' evaluation. According to Danielson, there are four domains of teaching responsibility. Domain 1, planning and preparation. Domain 2, the classroom environment. Domain 3, instruction. And the Domain 4, professional responsibilities. I am positive that after mastering all these four domains, you can already consider yourself as a master teacher. In this presentation, I will only tackle the Domain 1, planning and preparation, and we will reserve the other three domains for the future discussions. Domain 1, planning and preparation. Planning and preparation is further divided into 6 components, and I will explain them to you one by one. During the first few years of my teaching career many years ago, I learned the hard way that preparation is everything. I will repeat, preparation is everything. No matter what age group your students are, they know if and they can sense if the teacher comes prepared or unprepared. And most especially the supervisors who visit your classroom to conduct a walk-through evaluation. Preparation and planning takes place before you even step in your classroom. That is why I admire all of you teachers, because your work does not end in the classroom. Your home is also an extension of your workplace. Component 1. Demonstrating knowledge of content and pedagogy. Let me begin by saying, a person cannot teach what he or she does not know. It is like saying a person cannot give something that he does not have. A teacher must know his content area or the subject area that he is teaching. Content is not just a factual information. It includes all aspects of subjects, such as the concepts, principles, relationships, methods of inquiry, and understanding issues. Always remember that students look up to the teacher as their source of information and knowledge. And as a teacher, we must remember that knowledge of content and pedagogy evolves over time. It does not end when we graduated from college or master's. That is why we never stop learning. And professional development is a must for all teachers. Component 2. Demonstrating knowledge of students. Knowing your students is as important as knowing your subject matter. If you recall, as a student of education, when you were in college, part of the curriculum includes the psychology of human development. It is important for a teacher to understand the stages of cognitive development, the individual differences, the learning style, the individual needs, interest, and even the cultural background of the students. In order to become an effective teacher, one must have connections to his or her students, and that connection will happen only if a teacher knows the students. Component 3. Setting instructional outcomes. We teach with the objective or objectives in mind. Basically, We have a purpose. An effective teacher knows how to articulate instructional outcomes and able to communicate these outcomes to his or her students. We may state or write the learning outcomes on the board. I can see a lot of teachers when I visited classrooms that they write the learning outcomes or the objectives on the board so that whenever the students enter the classroom, they can readily see the objectives for the day or what the teacher is expected them to learn for the day. Learning outcomes is also known as learning objectives. It must be SMART, which means it is specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. An example of SMART learning outcomes is this one. By the end of the lesson, the students will be able to solve math problems using algebraic expressions, at least 4 out of 5 trials or 80% of the time. The objective is clearly stated and the student's success is also being measured. So we know what to expect. In order to measure the success, student must have 80% correct most of the time. Component 4. Demonstrating knowledge of resources. When we talk about resources, we think of myriad of things, such as textbooks, supplemental materials, worksheets, manipulatives, science lab equipment, print materials, even maps, photos, website, YouTube channel, and alike. The use of resources also depends on the subject areas and the learning styles of your students. Not all learners are good with just using books or handouts. If you recall the theory of Howard Gardner's multiple intelligence, some learners are linguistic, logical, naturalist, spatial, kinesthetic, musical, or even interpersonal and intrapersonal. In preparing your resources and instruction, we must consider these areas of intelligences. The teacher must consider these areas in designing learning resources in order to address individual needs. Component number 5. Designing coherent instruction. A critical feature of instructional design is coherence. When we present instructions or learning activities, we need to start with easier tasks to harder or from simple to complex. Coherent instruction also allows learners to think and problem solve. It also permits students choice and initiative. And of course, it should promote student engagement. Lastly, the sixth component, designing student assessments. How do we know if our students are learning? Of course, we need to give them assessment. We need to assess them. The assessment must correlate to the instructional outcomes that we set for them. In other words, we cannot assess students for something that we did not teach. So assessment and learning, instruction, or objectives must have a correlation. Assessment come in various ways. This can be in the form of paper and pen quiz. It can be a portfolio, recitation, writing performance, and even verbal presentation. Sometimes we use rubric to measure all of these assessments, especially when the assessment is performance based. And talking about rubric, this is another long discussion. Let me know if I need to present this in detail for all teachers out there so I can share how to prepare and how to make rubric to assess students. I can share this in the future. Thank you, teachers. I hope you enjoyed our professional development topic for today. For my next presentation, I will continue the discussion on Domain 2, which is the classroom environment. Please share my channel to other educators so that they will benefit also from this professional development. So before you go, please don't forget to like and subscribe and comment down below. Let me know what topic you would like me to discuss next time. So thank you, and to God be the glory.